yo.
Welcome in. Welcome in.
Give me all you got.
Give me all you
Give me
got.
all you got.
Give me all you got. Woo! Welcome in, everybody. Good to be back with you. Monday, we were unfortunately not able to link up with you guys, so we are backer than ever. As you can see, got a little new gears here. So, guess who still has their phone now? Don't have to use that as my camera. And I got this sweet microphone. So, shout out to associate producers Mark and Steph, as always.
You know, actually, with the overlay, it kind of hides the microphone a little bit.
Hey, all right. Yeah, we're trying to work on a mic stand, okay? Because I got old mic stands. It's a different angle, so it's like
we got to
down
talk
the barrel of a gun, you know.
We got to talk to CEO Nick about the budget.
Yeah, now we'll work something out. But Tyler, how the hell are you?
You know, still got COVID, but getting through it. I think hopefully should be over it soon. Getting better every day. So all in all, not too bad. Ron, how are you doing this evening?
Doing well. Tired. Today wasn't as bad. Yesterday was kind of busy, but yeah, we're just cranking it out. A lot of work, which we'll talk about as more states come online with the sports betting situation. We had a big one over the weekend. But Thomas is coming back on Monday. That'll be nice. And I was super enthused by getting to try my new gear here, which is very nice. So again, thank you. I didn't account for the fact that when you use your phone as your camera, like, oh yeah, how am I going to use this sweet microphone?
You can't, yeah.
Guess I got to get a camera, so that's what I did. But shout out to the fine people of Logitech. Not a sponsor. You could be.
Could be. No, like I remember. Oh god, that was probably like a year before we started this show. We were like kicking around, maybe getting redoing the podcast again. And so I had bought a blue microphone upon your recommendation, and it's like it's a really good microphone. I like it, but then I use my camera for this, so it's like, I don't actually get to use it.
Hey, you just got to get a webcam. Dude, bring back the blue.
Yeah, I might have to do that.
So I'm still loading up some stuff. We had to go real quick, so I didn't have to move the time. Actually, Tyler, if you want to start us off with a couple, just like get us into maybe some side pieces here while I load up. I just got 2 more videos I got to pull up in here.
Okay, yeah, we can definitely do that. Let's go ahead. Let's get into the side pieces here. That does feel good. So yeah, just a couple things here. I did see Ron drop this in. Nice little back and forth. Nice little back and forth here between Grayson Murray and Kevin Na. See there, Grayson Murray thinking he's got a shot on Kevin Na, talking about 3 minutes to take his putts. And then Kevin Na just with the ultimate clapback of you missing out on the cut, getting pretty old.
Kevin Na does take a little while to putt. Don't get me, that's true. But I like the walk-in too much, so I take it. I enjoy seeing the walk-ins. The ball's still like a foot out from the hole. He's already like reaching down to grab it. That's it. There's plenty of videos. I didn't have time to get one. But shout out to the walk-in. And also, yes, Kevin Na is way better right now than freaking Grayson Murray. So, Grayson Murray, you just got to take the L on this one, dude. You just got rocked.
Yeah.
I snuck in there.
I can appreciate that Grayson Murray, saw something he wanted to take a shot at, but sometimes when you swing for the fences, you miss or you get robbed. It's.
And look, Grayson Murray is a guy that he's a professional golfer. He does make some events, but Kevin Na is definitely better. And this is like when it goes wrong, when you just try to talk shit on someone that's like bigger than you, but they actually respond, and then you just look like a total ass.
This is definitely a maybe it's why I beat him in football nearly half the time kind of moment.
For some reason too, with the exclamation point made me laugh too. Well, you missing the cut is getting old. What about that? That's right, piece of shit.
So, like, everybody knows we are fans of Twitter beefs on this show. So definitely.
stir
I,
fry, steak that, grill it,
I,
whatever.
I'll be interested to see if Grayson Murray tries to clap back, or if he just kind of knows, like, all right, like I got beat here.
No, you just got to fall back at that point, dude. I mean,
I'll just lick my wounds and go away from this one.
not only did you get roasted, I mean, usually, like, sometimes you'll see a scenario where the lesser golfer still gets off a burn, like a better burn, but this guy's the better golfer and he got the better burn off.
Yeah, and just leave, just abandon ship, abort.
Just get out and get out there and try to make some cuts, huh? How about it, pal?
Yeah, there you go.
Work on your game. Get off the Twitters. One side piece that I wanted to bring up, because I know some of you out there are aware, did a little betting last night, little parlay, and it was just all coming together. Utah State was playing Fresno State. I was like, dude, this is a Central Valley banger right here. I got a nice little class action check unexpectedly from my previous employer, Bank of America. Shout out for being an inhumane piece of crap. No, I'm just kidding. So a couple $100 there. I was like, I'm gonna do some college basketball betting. I normally never bet on college basketball because there are so many games and so many teams I have no idea about.
It's too crazy.
But I know about Fresno State and Cal State Bakersfield. So I'm looking at it. I was like, all right, I need a third leg. The over one was the one I was least confident in, but if you look at the bet number, 661. So that's a sign right there, dude.
That's a sign.
So you can see this is at what, plus 810.
Yeah.
Watching the Bakersfield game was on an hour earlier. Kind of got off to a slow start. In fact, they were even down a couple times in the first half. But they're better than Cal Poly. I mean, they're not really that good. Like when I saw it was on ESPN3. Greg Kerr on the play-by-play, by the way.
Local legend.
And then what's his name? Bill Vinovich, the guy that he's been a referee in at least one Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He was a referee there too.
I actually think he was the ref of last year's Super Bowl.
He's done more than one for sure. Like he's been around for a long time, but I guess he also does college basketball. So he was a ref there in Bakersfield last night. And they kind of start pulling away. And then Cal Poly starts to have to, they can't really run it slow anymore because they got to shoot their way back into it. So we got the over. With like 4 minutes left. Meanwhile, in the other game, I cannot watch because it's on CBS Sports Network, which, good job, Mountain West. No one can watch your crap. Unless you have Fubo or one of these other, I don't know, DirecTV, unless you just go out of your way to pay more for
Sling used to have
Sports.
It. Yeah, Sling used to have it.
That's right.
And then I think nobody ever watched the channel, so they got rid of it.
Yeah. So I can't watch it, but I'm looking at my phone. It goes to halftime. Utah State is up by like 11, I think. That's 10, up 10. And then proceed to give up 40 points in the second half. They were still down by 2 with about 3 minutes left, and they just totally shit all over themselves and me. I hate Utah State, dude. Suck at Utah State. You're dead to me. You were already annoying. Traditionally, they've been pretty good at basketball the last few years. They were one of the better teams in the Mountain West. But I guess this year they've fallen on hard times, as you can see, 10-8 now. Drops 10-8 on the season. Oh, I should have bet against Fresno State, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't say this when you first told me about this bet, but I'm like, you bet against a Valley team? Like,
I underestimated the Valley strength.
You shouldn't. Come on, Ron. You know better. You spent so much time in the Valley here. You know better than that.
I know, dude. See, the thing is, no, because I think it was like Fresno State -5 or something, so they probably still would have covered. I don't know exactly. Maybe I could have got it with the points, but I needed that 150 to kind of sweeten it, so I went for the money line. It was paying more.
Sure.
And, dude, I was pissed. I was super pissed. Also, another thing I wanted to point out, let me see if I have a picture of this fool. They got a guy on Cal Poly. His name is Hayden Jory. That's the stupidest name I've ever heard in my life. Now,
I'll tell you what. Utah State would have won that game if they had Hayden Jory.
It sounds like a guy that would definitely be on Utah State or some 100%. Utah school.
Yeah.
Tyler
100%.
threw out the theory that even BYU was like, "Nah, your name's too white, even for BYU, son. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have to go to Cal Poly."
Look, son, you gotta simplify that. All right, Dan Smith, we can take. Hayden Jory.
We'd love to have you here, but we can't. We're BYU. We're Chippendales. And like when I saw that, I was like, that cannot be real. That is just like a collection of letters. But no, he's a real guy, and he really looks like
Jory.
that. Yeah. The pride of Lompoc, which I'm sure, again, imagine a guy named Hayden Jory. I mean, if you're good enough to go D1, even if it's Big West, this guy was probably throwing up like 40 a game. So Hayden Jory was probably terrorizing, all up and down Central Coast high school basketball. But
his name strikes fear in Santa Barbara.
Hayden Jory, dude. Like I was so worried it was going to be this guy that did it, but it wasn't. It was a bunch of other Hayden Jorys on freaking Utah State that did it to me. I can only assume they got some Hayden Jorys over there. But man, it was like bet number 661. How could I lose?
Well, no, the 661 hit. Yeah,
I didn't lose that one. God, I'm pissed, dude. I can't even look at that anymore. Take me to the next one.
Oh man,
dude, that's bullshit.
Sorry, I just got Hayden Jory on the mind now.
You can, CEO Nick. Apparently, they're not very good. I was golfing on Monday. That's part of the reason why we didn't do the show. Down at the lighted course in Mission Bay with Mike, and he's a USD alum. Actually, he's kind of an interesting guy. We might have to get him on the show one time because he was a D1 pitcher. And it seems like he's gone to like 4 different schools. So I think he went to Western Kentucky at one point.
He's the Tate Martell of college baseball.
Yeah, he's been all over the place. But he said they kind of suck. In fact, when I went to that UCR game, he bet on UCR. He has season tickets at USD, and he was just betting against them.
Hedging his bet. He's just hedging the bet.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, speaking of baseball, I guess we get into the big baseball news. There's still no news.
Woo!
Yeah, nice job, guys.
Way to work it out, guys.
Yeah, Players Union is prepared to respond to the recent proposal here. Should be delivered within. I think Heyman tweeted this out yesterday, so should be out soon. But fucking dude, I swear to God, baseball is such a good sport, and they just absolutely cannot get out of their own fucking way. It's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, especially like you're just already not going to be a TV that's ever going to work perfectly on TV if you're going to keep it like resembling somewhat like baseball. In fact, speaking of, it was on Saturday morning and I did catch a little bit of it. Replay of, I believe, the 1971 World Series. Barron can clarify, but it was the Pirates and the Orioles. And it's like nonstop action. Like they're just like stealing bases, base hits. Like it actually seemed
not taking a minute between pitches.
It looks like the NBA compared to what baseball is now. Like it was like nonstop action. And then the other thing that I saw that was amazing was also it was just kind of wild back then. I guess the Orioles employed this young lady at the time. The base sweeper. Let me hit your shoes too. Like he comes up like he knows, like, oh, it's my turn to do the shoe thing. Okay, and we're back to the action here. So that was it was a simpler time, dude. But no, watching the game, it was like, oh, this is kind of like a lot more going on. Like this is pretty sweet. Which it's weird to me because like it seems like that version of baseball would work better on TV than the current version of baseball, which is try to hit a home run or strike out every time or throw 100 miles an hour.
Don't steal bases. Yeah, just like there's no motion in the game anymore. That's what like drags it down.
I mean, the home runs, they got a nice pop off of that where they kind of saved them from the strike. But as far as like making it work better on TV, the stuff I saw going on in that game, and also it's like two really good teams, obviously.
Sure.
But like this is better on TV. Like there's always something going on. So I don't think like the pitch clock thing and all this other stuff, not necessarily making it work better on TV. It's just making it shorter, not more interesting. So,
well, I remember, last year when and
not even that much shorter happened. Also.
Yeah, it's still about the same. No, last year during the lockdown, like I remember, when everything got paused, like that's what John Boy like every
Shout
day
out to
was like,
Anad.
John Boy like every day, like he was like, oh yeah, we're gonna like watch like one game from like each World Series that's available on YouTube, and that was like the first thing I noticed was like, man, this game is just like flying by because it's just like constant. But like even if it's like a 8 pitch at bat, it's like happening so fast. Plus, there's guys running on the base paths.
Yeah, there was a lot of
It's just a
running, a
different
lot of
game.
like pressure on defense. Um, yeah, the pitches, it was just like get it and throw it. Even when they change pitchers, I mean, it's a replay, so I'm sure it's kind of condensed for time. But I thought it was pretty entertaining. I ended up watching like 3 innings of it, and I'm glad that I did because right at the end I was about to change it, or I think I was coming out to get ready to watch football or whatever it was, and that's when I saw the Broom Girl. Which can we bring that back too? So I
Let's
feel
get the
like
Broom Girl. Let's create some jobs.
all you got to do is just watch that game and be like, look, okay, we solve our TV problem right here. Like this is way more entertaining.
Just get an attractive woman, put her in some booty shorts, and send her
Yeah,
out there with a broom.
call it what it is. The NFL's been doing it forever.
I will say this: shout out to again to John Boy for getting me into this. But recently, I've gotten into T20 cricket.
Oh, jeez, you and the
And
bear.
that's a game. Again, that game takes about as long as a baseball game, but it is just constant. Like guys are running back and forth. Ball's always put in play. I'm enjoying that aspect of it.
They got any broom girls?
They don't have any broom girls.
I'm out.
That's the one thing.
I'm out.
That's the one thing they need. They do need broom girls.
Yeah, that's crap. That's not even a real sport.
And kissing bandits.
Hey, it could be. Oh wait, I lost. Sorry, let's keep back up here. Interesting theory thrown out by CEO Nick. Also, bring the cocaine back. Just bring it back. Let's just see what happens. I mean, guys are out there hustling.
Keith Hernandez number retirement ceremony coming up this year. Well, coming up this year if we have a season.
I told you. I mean, that's a true story. Look, everybody already knows if you follow baseball, but it was just like one of those like I made it to the big time things when we were doing our pregame show with Randy Jones, and he usually would just come hang out for like the segment before. I'm off to the side. The host is over there, and we're just kind of like chatting. How are you? What's going on? Blah blah blah. And he had just flown back from. It might have been when they did Hoffman's Hall of Fame thing, but he was doing something at the Hall of Fame, and he took like a red-eye flight back. Mm-hmm. He was like, "Man, I'm dragging ass today. I wish it was like the good old days. You just walk in the clubhouse, boom, they got a tub full of greenies right there. Just get you right fired up." I was like, all right, I knew that was true, but that's awesome that this guy that won the Cy Young just actually said that to me right now.
Manfred, stop being a coward. Bring back recreational drugs.
Let's get stimulants back in the game. Look, you want these guys to move faster or not? Okay. And then it probably would cut down on some of the steroid talk because guys probably lean out, probably not eating as much, whatever. Right. Same. But whatever it is, I mean, just the labor negotiation has always been a thing separate from this. But as far as all their, we're trying to cater to a younger audience and make it more exciting, but it's really just like it's making it like a home run derby. The games still take about the same amount of time, and just way less happens in between the start and the end of the game. Just like 6 home runs, and everyone throws 100 miles an hour, which is crazy. But they just kind of
six home runs and 7 hits in the game.
Yeah, exactly. That could be some more walks.
Okay, 6 walks, but no stolen bases.
The goals. Shout out to the goals. Ice Girls. Yes, they do a very good job. Excellent skaters. I've seen them twice now. And I don't know. I don't know if they're retiring Keith's mustache or not.
Oh, you can't retire that.
The thing's bulletproof. He can't get rid of it now. He's like locked into it.
He's trying to get rid of it.
I know. When he doesn't have it, it just looks weird.
Yeah. But yes, so surprisingly, no news on the baseball front.
Shocking. Yeah. But I mean, they'll work it out as they always do. Like these guys are pros. Like they know what they're doing.
They'll work it out by July.
Yeah. However, yikes. Speaking of, as I alluded to at the beginning, and we are getting busier. Actually, Thomas, like I said, he's coming back from his paternity leave Monday. But we had like our team meeting today, which is like all 8 or 9 of us. And then right before that, my boss on Wednesday will do like a just us 3, in this case, just us 2 meeting. to like
Mhm.
stuff that's specific to our little corner of the world. And we were both like, yeah, dude, this we're gonna have to hire some more people for this DraftKings thing because it is getting way big. Like every time they add a state, like they're not going to stop going to these other states, like wherever they can get in. I know some states they have a weird thing where it has to be kind of tied to like a physical, like a Indian casino or something in the state. So there's a limit
Oh, right.
to how many online only sports books can get in there. And apparently, what I've heard as far as California, which again we hate raising money, we're like in an easy way, like we just tax the shit out of you, but like
Right.
the money that's just sitting there ready to be picked up, the money that's already being spent, in the illegal market or whatever. Nah, we don't need to get that money.
No.
But let's just keep the crazy homeless problem going and everything else, housing crisis, whatever. It seems like maybe we can make some money.
Fine. We're doing
but,
fine.
First week in New York, $150 million spent on mobile sports betting. So could be nice to have some of that money. But hey, that's just me. And that's what I was saying with California. From what I have heard, anytime that has got on the ballot, the other like bad actor in this situation is actually the Indian casinos banding together to do like the vote no on whatever, because they are trying to, like, they do want to get sports betting because it's more stuff you can gamble on, but they want to make it to where you have to go to a casino. So they don't want the option of online because then they think people won't go. But people are going to go to the casino anyway, and if they're there, I'm sure they're going to bet. If you build a sports book, I'll go. Okay.
Oh yeah, so, I'm there.
Like the only workaround they have now is like they all do like pick 'em pools and stuff for prizes at the end of the season. But like I'll go to a sports book and I might not even bet. Like I'll just sit there and drink beers and watch not only the games because they're all on like a giant glorious wall of TV. I'll watch the people in there because it's great, especially when you get down to like the fourth quarter, like the morning and the afternoon windows, and you could see he was just sweating it. Like this guy's got like 10 grand on the freaking Panthers right now. Whoa, he is living and dying with this meaningless game.
What a gambling!
It is awesome to go into a sports book, but I would love to have the option of the mobile because they let you bet just like a regular sports book. This would have stung a lot less because I probably would have only bet like 50 cents on it just to have some action. Like it's not all about the big cash payout for me. I like the long odds and I like to bet low. As you can see,
for you, the action is the juice.
That's right. I'm in. That was part of the clip I saw from the LA takeover or whatever. But a shout out also, Heat 2, the book is coming out.
It's a prequel and a sequel. I love it.
It's longer than most phone books, I'm sure. And again, I love the guy that commented on Michael Mann, put out the little trailer video, and then some guy at first, like, I don't know if it was a top comment, but it was one of the higher up comments. It was like, shouldn't this just be called Hotter? Damn. The internet is awesome. Love the internet.
Yeah,
that it's not going back in the hat here. So California, come get this money, man. The same thing happened with the weed thing. Like, how many people are still using weed? Could have been getting so much tax money off of that. And the gambling thing's been going on for 60 years. Money's just sitting there waiting to be taxed.
So I'm glad you said that because actually just the other day I was Vice was running a marathon of that the Black Market show with Michael K. Williams. I don't know it's one of the episodes in the first season was about like the New York underground gambling scene, and I was like, man, I wonder how many people are like ditching their bookie to get on this. Like, hey, yeah, like this dude's not gonna come and fucking like break my thumb if I don't pay him.
It's taken away a lot of the kneecapping business, which is also like a fringe benefit. I just want the right to bet Lord Byron on my phone, and bet like 20 different 50-cent NFL parlays that are like 10 legs. Because, when you're dealing with a guy, like, I got a guy, there's certain limitations. He's got to cover his own, there's a limit, which I would never get close to betting. But just as far as what he could float, like if he had a bad week and everyone won, he's got it capped where you can't just lay like $10,000 bets. But that would go out the window if you bring MGM or Caesars or FanDuel, DraftKings,
or whoever.
Yeah, like all my buddies that live out in Arizona now, they're just like, oh yeah, it's super easy. Just go on the app, You can bet, like I said, 50 cents if you want. Bet a ton of them. Like, I'd be betting on stuff every night. Just throw a couple bucks on it. I'll watch a random like SWAC basketball game if I can bet on it. Why not?
Yeah, like I'd be curious to see what that. Obviously, it's got to have a huge impact if they're getting freaking 150 million on the first weekend. Like those poor underground bookies there. I mean, you do got to feel for them.
Think of the bookies, man. Think of the bookies. Hey, I got a family to feed. My kneecap stick is lonely.
Whose leg am I gonna break? Whose leg am I gonna break?
Come on. Also shout out CEO Nick. Enjoy Vegas. Go to a sports book. Just even if you don't bet. Yeah, he's never been.
Go to Circa. Go to Circa, downtown Las Vegas.
I have never been to Circa, and I definitely want to go to that. It's apparently world's
been
largest sports book now.
Westgate Sportsbook is fantastic, and supposedly Circa, which I've seen videos and pictures of it. It's like 3 stories. They have another one outside by the pool.
That is a dream for me. Tall. Like, it might be a little too cold when you go, but you should still check it out. Go to downtown, like the old Vegas part. That's where Circa's at. It's a new casino though, and
it also has a 9-story tall chandelier in the parking
Vegas,
garage.
Baby. That's Vegas.
In the parking garage, not even in the hotel.
Awesome. See, it seems like Vegas is doing a pretty good job making money off gambling. So
yeah, right.
It seems like people are still going to do it. I mean, I'm still doing it, and you guys aren't getting any tax money off of me. So.
True words.
Oh well, but yeah, check out the Circa.
For entertainment purposes only, please.
Of course, entertainment purposes only. Okay, please. And actually, I'm trying to keep the gloves on because it's kind of nice. It's a little chilly out here. So I'll go as long as I can with the gloves, unless I got if the possum comes up.
Drop it and fight, baby. Yep, that's it. On site.
You got to control it. Now I'll probably get rabies. I'll just come back foaming at the mouth. I got my ass kicked.
Maybe you should keep the gloves on if you're.
Dude, he's from the streets, dude. It's a hard life out here. That thing looks like a huge rat. It is insane. So shout out to the possum. I hope we're still cool. But you can't get these hands. If you want, come get them. Come pick them up for free. Especially with the gloves on. They'll probably keep the gloves on, as you pointed out. And also not a big surprise there, Stetson Bennett returning to Georgia. That Georgia legend.
Well, JT Daniels is in the transfer portal now.
Okay, so you want to go? Now, speaking of, also Texas is back. I didn't have a screenshot of it, but it looks like Gary Patterson's going to go be some kind of assistant consultant or something for the Texas Longhorns. So you got him, you got Cuddy Sark, you got what's that guy's name that freaked out on the bus? Bo something, the D-line coach. Yeah. I mean, that's a dream team. Texas is back.
Don't forget, you still got the special teams coach as well. With,
my gosh, yes.
With the pole assassin.
Yes. Mr. Pole Assassin.
Yes.
So, hey, watch out, dude. Texas is back.
Oh, absolutely back. Backer than ever.
Love to see it. Also, just to cap that off, there's only one online service that I know of that does feature the kneecapping services. That's part of the charm of the old school bookies. So if you are looking to lay some bets and your state government's boxing you out, I got a guy. Okay, this guy, he'll hook you up.
That's actually one of the bets you can lay is, will you get kneecapped? Spoiler, it's always yes.
It's minus 500. You got to go heavy on it. No even money.
No.
I mean, it's still, it's probably, no, it's like plus 4,000. No, huh? We'll see about that. Especially as it, behooves him to make sure you don't hit that bet. So some guys are coming if you lay that bet. All right, moving on. That's a good, not really a segue into the Premier League, but let's take a look at the Premier League. We did have a full weekend, and then it's a batshit game today with Spurs. I didn't get up for it, and I'm glad I didn't. But West Ham totally crapped their pants against Leeds at home. Leeds, who has a hard time scoring as it is, kind of like are we good on Bielsa? Are we moving on? Like that kind of turmoil. And then they just get whooped by those fools. Damn it.
Yeah. I think there were maybe like 2 or 3 players. Like I happened to be up for the game. I just happened to wake up, and so I watched it. And
aren't you glad you did?
Yeah. I'd say there were like maybe 2 guys for West Ham that I could say had like a good game. Everybody else was absolutely terrible. Everybody on the back line was awful. Diop, and this has to be his last start. Like he's just so bad. Dawson had a couple good moments, but was not great. Cresswell outside of his corners was awful. Soufal, I don't know what's up with him. He was so good last year. He's just not the same guy this year. Just absolutely awful game all around. So, like that's 3 points you got to have. You have to have those 3 points, and fortunately they're still sitting in 4th place. But God, that's a win you got to have.
I think they're going to have to spend a little money here for sure, just to keep pace here. We have several more months to go, and can't be losing to Leeds at home. They're giving up 3 goals to Leeds at home. Just by that,
to the same person, by the way, it was a hat trick for Jack Harrison.
God. Man City at Chelsea, Chelsea at Man City. No real surprise there. 1-0. I mean, Man City definitely capable of pouring in some more goals, but Chelsea's a pretty good defensive team. But I did watch some of that game, and it's crazy that Chelsea's in 2nd place. I mean, of course, they're like 10 points back, but they looked like vastly inferior to Man City. Like Man City looks so much better than the 2nd place team. It was like they had a hard time just getting the ball like off of them. And then they just press you like crazy. I mean, Pep is like, running that Barcelona style, a little more direct because playing the English style, a little more athletic, but still like they turn the ball over and then they're just running 3 guys at you. And Chelsea was not able to handle that. I mean, Man City is just so clearly better than them.
And it's just the craziest thing is like Man City doesn't even sub a lot of their games, but that's because they're like constantly rotating the lineup just because they are so stupid deep. Like they're not even playing their everyday starters, and they're over here like just clearly outplaying the team sitting in 2nd place. So it's just congrats to City. You championship is yours already. I'm sure their focus will be on the Champions League, the one thing that's been eluding Pep since he moved to Man City. But,
the 1-0. I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily it was a game that felt like it could have been 3 or 4-0, but that was really more like Man City not coming up with like a lot of great chances.
Right.
So that maybe a little something to do with Chelsea's defense, but still like it felt like they and it felt like they dominated even at 1-0. I mean, they had the ball the entire time. Chelsea, when they got it, they were just like panicking, trying to like spring some counterattack. Lukaku, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's looking like he can't get the ball. Then when he does, he loses the ball. So, which is not, with all like the wingers they have on that team, you would think this is like kind of the target guy. He can bring the ball in and bring guys into the play, and it's just not. It's not happening. I mean, yes, Man City's a great defensive team too, but still.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help that there was that interview with like about a month ago now where Lukaku probably just pissed his entire team off. I know he pissed the entire fan base off. He's probably pissed all his teammates.
He did have to walk that back a little bit, and probably have some words with Tuchel there. But I guess apparently they're back on the same page. But they got worked in that game. Newcastle sucks. I mean, even though they have like godlike amounts of money now, they are terrible. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, giving up. I think this was what like they said they're like 9th loss from a winning position, or not a loss, but like 9th time being in a winning position and
come from a head loss.
Yes. So not much to say about that game though. Norwich beating Everton.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Oh, Rafa. Oh,
he's gone again. He'll be back somewhere, I'm sure, in the Premier League.
I'm sure.
Go get Big Sam, dude, if you're going to try to stay in this league.
They need him.
He's the fixer, dude.
If you want to stay up, he's the man.
Yeah, that was tough, man. I mean, and like I said, Norwich, they have such a hard time scoring goals. I think one was an own goal.
Yes, one was an own goal.
And
then like 2 minutes later, they scored.
Yeah. Sargent, I saw start of the game. Shout out to him. Didn't
That,
get
that,
on the score sheet, but
those 2 goals are currently 20% of Norwich's season total.
I told you as they're going, the guys are walking off the field at the end. He's like, that first goal for Norwich was their first goal in the last 9.5 hours of Premier League soccer. Like, jeez, dude. And Everton just got worked out by them. Yeah, I was on the road, but
still, it's
Everton.
Norwich.
You look at it on paper, it's a superior team to Norwich. Like, they should not be where they're at right now.
Yeah.
I didn't really see much of the other 2 there on Saturday. I don't know if Tyler, if you caught any of that or saw any highlights on those.
I didn't see much of Wolves Southampton. Obviously, Wolves getting 3-1 win. Nice job for them. I know Connor Cody got a goal, so that helped my fantasy team for sure.
There's no Connor Casey. It's my boy.
No, not Connor. No, not Connor Casey. And then, Villa and United with the 2-2 draw. I believe wasn't United up 2-0, and then it wound up being a 2-2 final.
That's a Stevie G magic, dude. He still got it.
Oh, yeah, actually it was because Coutinho came on, made his debut for them, and scored in 8 minutes.
Oh, that's right.
Coutinho still got it. He still got look. He sucked at Bayern Munich, but he's been good everywhere else he's gone. So
I like Coutinho. He's a good player.
I do too.
He's just a smart player. I mean, he's kind of small a little bit for the Premier League, but he did better there. I mean, Germany's a pretty physical league too. That's probably the only one that I would put in a similar, not quite, because there's more money in the Premier League. So top to bottom, it's a little more athletic. But Germany's right up there. Never really got going there, but he is proven in the Premier League, so could be a nice addition for them.
Then Liverpool handled their business against Brentford. Brentford, great run to start the year. They're kind of falling back to reality, but Liverpool, a nice bounce back from their terrible FA game against Arsenal during the week. Get the nice 3-0 win there. Yesterday, Brighton and Chelsea 1-1. Look, Brighton, they're a top 10 team. Granted, it's because they have like 12 draws this year. Like that's kind of what they do is they play to get the draw
points.
But Chelsea's got to win that one. There's obviously a lot of issues going on with Chelsea. And then today we did have there we go. Leicester.
They were up 2-1, I believe, in the 95th minute.
In the 95th minute, they were up 2-1, and they lost 3-2.
Yikes! 2 goals. Was it the same guy?
Yeah, it was Steven Bergwijn. Yes, Bergwijn came on in like the 89th minute.
In the 95th and 97th minute, he scores. So Leicester, ouch, dude. I mean, on the one hand, because he is our Spurs, our soccer historian, Justin's got to be thrilled, but also because he was playing for Leicester, probably not too happy.
Pretty mad.
So he's torn out there.
That was, I think, actually the first camera shot when the final whistle rang was just like a shot of just like a super pissed Jamie Vardy.
Oh, Jamie Vardy. Well, look, we'll always have the good times, the Miracle Championship, but those days seem further and further away, especially as Man City just continues to lap the entire universe. On this, I don't know, warpath that they're on trying to win the Champions League. And then Man United back in action at Brentford today, taking care of business, getting a win. You never know, again, with Man United, what team is going to show up. But Brentford, as Tyler pointed out, they're kind of, it feels like just like that Premier League rookie wall a little bit. It came out super positive, and that feeds into it, the belief. But the longer you go into the season, teams that don't have the same kind of depth, then you guys got, guys getting hurt, a little more tape on these guys playing against Premier League players. It does get tougher. So they're still safe, but maybe got to bring somebody in, I don't know, in this January window.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know
who more bullets.
Who they'd be able to bring in. I don't know what their transfer budget looks like, but yeah, they'll definitely need some help. But
gotta spend money to make money, dude. Falling out of the league, that's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost
very
you.
Costly. Although the key thing, or the most interesting thing of the game was Ronaldo getting subbed out in the 70th minute and just being super pissed about it on the sideline. See if that leads to anything. Yeah, right? I know.
What are the odds that he wouldn't want to come out of the game?
Shocking. Man.
And yes, as Nick points out, Club Tijuana coming over for a preseason game against the Loyal. probably just going to crush the Loyal with their second string, third string, and youth team players.
Yeah, their U14 team.
But it's exactly. It's probably like the best player on the field. It's still a good experience for the Loyal to get these games, to get Tijuana to come over. I'm glad they have like this working relationship. I know they played during the season an exhibition game last year. And I still think Club Tijuana should start trying to reach out to this Aztec Stadium now and play some actual like season home games at that Aztec Stadium. The seats are the same color, dude. You would draw here, and it's definitely a higher level than you're going to see in the USL. I mean, really in the MLS. Look what happens in the CONCACAF Champions League. Mexico always wins. So I still feel like if it's one game, probably like any team, maybe there's a couple, and on both sides, like a couple MLS teams that could consistently beat like some of the lesser Liga MX teams, but still, it's just there's more money. It's more of like the culture is around the rest of the world, where they train, twice a day. They're there at the facility. Their diet is kind of like closely monitored. Everything, like, it's just a higher level. So that's why always encourage any Americans, if you're getting that shot, go try to play somewhere else. You're just not going to get that same day-to-day experience.
And their youth system is based on talent, not how much money can you pay us to train you.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I'm looking forward to going to that. I think CEO Nick said there was tickets for like $15. So we're probably gonna go check that out.
Good deal.
I might just be rocking all Club Tijuana stuff. As you know, I got quite a bit of Club Tijuana Cholos gear.
True. That's true.
But let's round third base here, and let's take a look at what was the Super Wild Card weekend.
Yeah, buddy.
We had our picks laid out. Of course, Tyler gets to go out with the heater chain. 5-1 final week of more than 4 games. Let me just dust this off here. It looks like there might be a little bit of a knot at the heater chain.
Oh no! What'd you do?
Well, I haven't been allowed to wear it for a while. I could have had the Central Valley heater chain last night. But
where's our guy that takes care of it?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. He's an odd guy. I think I saw him outside.
Crazy old Jim.
Yeah, sleeping in a shopping cart today, so he might have been, lacking on some of his duties. But there you go, Tyler. As much as I can untangle it right now at the moment, it's pretty bad. Wait, boom! There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
It's off the screen, so you can.
Crown me. There we go.
Crown their ass. I'll put my gloves back on. It is cold. But good job. Good job to you. And I hate you. 3-3.
That's what you should.
God, let's just get into the games. Let's get into the freaking games. Raiders, I wasn't too disappointed with the outcome. And I won't even blame the refs because it was just terrible for everyone. This was like one of the worst officiated games I have seen in a long time, which is saying something in the NFL. But especially being your first playoff game. So it's like everyone's watching. We're not going to start the next game until this one's over. So anyone that wants to watch playoff football, the very first game, and the refs just totally shit the bed. The Bengals score on a touchdown where the whistle had already blown before they scored. And, okay, so that's one mess up by the ref, blowing the wrong whistle. Didn't need it. Burrow was in bounds. But that play is dead. You got to replay the play. So not only did they make the wrong move on the field, whoever blew that whistle, then they made another mess up by not following the rule book and saying he caught it before the whistle, which everyone could clearly see. Yes, it was like right before. Probably would not have affected the outcome, but the rule is the rule. Like, if the whistle blows and the ball's in the air, no one has it. Right, that's it. Like, forget it. So they let it stand, and then they have this like whole explanation after the fact. Oh, we did
like 10 minutes later as well. The announcers are finally like, "Hey, maybe we should should they have looked into that?"
And, well, that we found a loophole because it can't be reviewed. Awesome. So I'm sure. Look, I will give the NFL some credit. They do, especially in playoff games. Next year, you will probably see some kind of change to the rule where something like that might be avoidable, but it is
Mhm.
super annoying. Like, well, the Bengals know too. As a Raider fan, we don't get into playoffs that much, okay? And we're also staring down the barrel of freaking Mahomes and Herbert and, well, who knows, whatever the Broncos do. Drew Lock is probably going to win like 5 MVPs.
Yeah, you want to be staring down the barrel of Drew Lock.
Oh, God, I hope so. Do the right thing, Broncos, please. Please sign him.
Extend
You're
that.
our only hope. You're our only hope.
15-year contract.
Yeah, but then Carr, like, he got Drew a roughing the passer penalty on the last drive that I thought was terrible. Also,
Mhm.
Leatherwood, who sucks. Like, don't get me wrong, he just sucks. He's like the new Robert Gallery. They don't even know where to put him,
Ooh.
but he was
Ooh.
like their first pick, so they move him around. Like, okay, well, maybe he can play guard. Okay, maybe he can play on.
I'd say they eventually figured it out with Gallery, at least.
Yeah, I mean, they moved him, and he kind of did
Took a
better
while.
at guard. But also, he was like, I mean, Leatherwood is almost like center size. Like, okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Gallery was like a freaking colossus. He was like 7'6", 300, whatever.
Right,
So
yeah, he's actually too big to be a guard.
yeah, I mean, that was the only thing he could do. So
Right.
they had to do that. But anyway, he just became serviceable for a couple years. But Leatherwood's had a really bad season. And, you know, I'll give him another year. It's rookie year. You're not just on the best team in Alabama anymore. Like, everyone's Alabama. So
Mhm.
there is an adjustment period. I get that. He had a bad game. He had some bad penalties. He gets called for, like, a legal blocker down the field on a screen pass. I'm like, where's he supposed to go? Like, it's a screen. Like, he's supposed to pull out. So it was just like one thing after another. That's why I'm not going to say it was the ref's fault that the Raiders lost. It was just like a black eye on the whole game.
Sure.
And Carr has never played good when it's cold. You know, like, I don't know if it's something like below 40 degrees. He's never won or something like that.
He's a Valley boy.
Well, if it was a fog game, he'd be kicking ass. I just want to
That's
say
true.
that.
That's true.
Like,
Yeah,
nobody plays in the fog like the Valley. But
that's true.
no, he didn't have a good game. And they had a chance at the end. Maybe a little bit of a questionable play call because it was kind of like a route that sort of had to like break down, and the guy wasn't even in the end zone. He had to like come back to the ball. He just like force it. It was 4th down. Maybe they could have ran a play instead of clocking it on 1st down when they got down there.
Mhm.
Give yourself one extra play. So that's a little, you know. But yeah, I can't be too mad the way the season went. I thought it was like already so done with all the terrible things that happened to the Raiders. And hey, Football Richie, man. I know he had an interview for his own job today. So hopefully it went well. But I feel like, I mean, again, he's like, interview? I've been interviewing my ass off for the last 3 months, dude. I kept this thing afloat somehow. And the players really like him, you know. I mean, his background is special teams, so you know, they probably have to bring in some more assistants or something like that. But I didn't really think he had like super questionable like in-game decisions. It wasn't just like this guy has no understanding of what's going on. And like I said, he was able to kind of just weather what seemed like never-ending storms to even get them to that point. So whatever they do, I know Mayock is gone now. They fired him. Of course, just like everyone that doesn't have a coach, Harbaugh's in the mix, which I did think was funny. Like the reports coming out of Chicago was like, yes, Harbaugh did have a brief phone call. And then for the Raiders, it's like he's flying out to Vegas today to talk to Mark Davis. They probably talked for like 4 hours. So I don't know if he's super stoked on the Bears thing. But again, it's Harbaugh. He's coming off like probably realistically one of the best seasons you could have, given the current state of college football at Michigan. So it might be the time to jump ship, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I'm a little hesitant because it seems like he wants to kind of be one of those like I want to be coach and GM guys, which we sort of just had with Gruden. I mean, obviously different circumstances there, but I don't really like that idea for any team in the NFL. It just seems like it's way too specialized. Like you need to have some separation of powers. Like let this guy be the GM, do the drafting, yes, with input from the coach, and let the coach coach it. But one guy trying to do it all. I mean, look how great it worked out for Bill O'Brien. It was awesome. Or freaking Saban, or all these other guys. So we'll see what happens. But I'm not too disappointed. And shout out to the Bengals. It took 3 decades since they won a playoff game. Burrow looks like, with what's going on in Pittsburgh, yes, they always annoyingly seem to rebuild faster than you think. But end of the Ben era, they have some other needs to fill there too. It's kind of lining up for the Bengals. We don't know. Ravens could bounce back strong. It seemed like kind of just a lost year for them this year. But the Browns are all in chaos too. It's like it seems like Baker hates the coach.
As is tradition.
As is tradition. It was a great, everyone was all fired up when Baker got those beers released from the Bud Light coolers. Right. And then they went on that run and had a good season, but it's looking good for the Bengals, man. Those receivers they have, Chase is just unbelievable. He's starting to show some of that like Devontae Adams thing where you're just like, how is he always getting open? Like this guy just
always open.
Put 3 guys on this guy. Like just make them throw it to someone else. But he's just that good. Like he's always getting open. So I don't know. Raiders, we gotta try to get in there before it seems like the Chiefs juggernaut is kind of like they're just flipped the switch now that it's playoff time. We'll get to that game in a minute. So I don't know about the outlook for the Raiders, but I'll take it. I'll take this season.
Yeah, I kind of wonder. I had nothing more to add. You kind of encompassed everything there. I don't
let it all out. Let it all out.
Let me finish.
Let me finish.
I need a vacation, anyways. From the sounds of it, kind of a lot of what I'm seeing, a lot of on the Michigan boards and all that talk is, it does seem like if Harbaugh's offered the job, he's gonna say yes. So we'll see how that goes. I just kind of feel like, man, they almost if they don't give him the head coaching job, they owe Bisaccia a place in that organization for life.
I think that's a guy to keep around, especially like I said, the relationship he has with the players, and coming through a season like this where they somehow just keep it on the tracks enough to get to the playoffs. Yeah, that builds a lot of goodwill going forward. So maybe you have to say Harbaugh is a better coach, just based on his experience and other stuff that he's done. But it's not like, Football Richie's been around for a long time in the league. So he's not just doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, there you go right there, dude. This is my guy, the Paisan. Hey, this guy, look at handwritten letters to all the players after they got eliminated, thanking them just for kind of, rolling with it through all the craziness of this season. And definitely a guy I would like to see stay around, if not as the head coach, just around with the team. We'll see what happens. And also, I did see the odds there, which I thought was kind of weird. Did I upload that one? Current favorites for next year. Oh, I guess I didn't get it in here. I'll have to add it later. But there was some. Tomlin was plus 300. He was the second. I was like, dude, you just take that off right now.
He's not leaving Pittsburgh.
Why would you leave the most stable team in the NFL to go to the least stable team in the NFL? But I will say, to your point about Harbaugh, if you are going to make the jump back, he kind of, I wouldn't say he crashed out because they were pretty good in San Francisco. They went to 3 straight NFC Championship games, whatever it was.
Yeah, and 1 Super Bowl. Yeah.
So if you are going to make that jump, it's better to go there than a team that finished in dead last place. They got some pieces, a draft or 2 away. They, could be back around. Especially now, there's 25 wild card teams, super wild card.
If you play 1 game this year, you qualify as a wild card.
That seems like the most ready to go team if you're a new coach coming in. So, which was in a different circumstance because they had an interim coach all year. It wasn't like they just fired everyone because they sucked. But it seems, Harbaugh kind of strikes me as a old school guy that would like to be around a franchise like the Raiders, just with their weird old traditions and stuff like that. But we'll see. Well, I wouldn't be too mad at it, but hopefully not 10 years, $100 million.
One thing that just hit me is I kind of started thinking would Derek Carr be the John Harbaugh quarterback? But then being a Michigan fan, looking at his quarterbacks the last 8 years, I don't know what a John Harbaugh quarterback is anymore. So
yeah, that's true. Sure. That is true. We'll see. I think they're off the hook for the guaranteed money now with Carr. The cap hit won't be, they could trade him or something now. But we'll see. We'll see. Which has been floated around. It might get traded. I don't know. because yeah, the thing with Carr is like obviously my weekly tradition of the commiserating Raiders fan group text that I'm in. It's like, dude, the problem with this guy is he's not bad enough for them to just move on, but he's not good
Right.
enough to like ever go up to the next step, you know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, you know, we got a guy here that's solid, but how far can we go with this solid? Like we've seen it. They showed the stat on freaking ESPN because they had, you know, Burrow and Kyler Murray, all these young quarterbacks like starting their first playoff game, and it was like most career starts for some of these quarterbacks starting their first playoff game. It was like 20, 17. Carr 130 because he got hurt the one year they did make the playoffs and he didn't play in the game. So we had Connor Cook getting smoked by the freaking Texans. Oh, well, great times. Great times. Let's move on to the next game. Make me feel a little bit better. And this was like, it just totally felt like, I mean, from the opening drive too, you know, the Bills were not messing around. They had a lot more design runs going with Allen, who is incredible. He's just big. He's hard to bring down with one guy, even if we're talking about like NFL linebackers and stuff like that, or guys that are as fast as NFL DBs, and which he'll probably, you know, over time, I would assume, kind of grow out of. But he will initiate contact too. I mean, he knows he's big and fast. So
you say over time, but I also think he's big enough to where it's like he might not grow out of that. Like like I feel like when he makes those contacts, I feel like he kind of gets the better of the guy. Like the other guy's hurting more than he is.
Yeah, I mean, some of the, again, like head first dives and stuff, maybe we could tone that down a little bit, but they drove it right down the field. I think they scored until it got to the
every drive except for the last one because they kneeled the clock.
They were kneeling it. Yeah, 7 straight drives that they scored. And this just totally felt like, you know, like finally they just got up on top of the bully and it was just like tears in their eyes, just like wailing, like 20 years! 20 years! Yeah, exactly. Like a glove's flying off. Just crying. Like, and they just beat the piss out of them. I mean, it was pretty awesome because I hate this Patriots as much as anyone. I was there, dude. I was there at the Genesis. Freaking tuck rule, dude.
That's true.
Woodson got that ball. It was a fumble. It's stupid. But anyway, and I think they would have beat the Rams. But anyway, I'm going to talk about it.
They probably would have. I mean, we've seen it a couple times during the year, but not most of the year. But this was like the Buffalo that like I think people were expecting to see. Just like this juggernaut offense going out there. Their defense went out there, had a good game against New England as well. I think a big point that I saw some people saying like, oh, but it's a weather game. You know, New England kind of plays better in the weather games. Like, it's not a weather game; it's a cold game. But they're the first time they played it was 50-mile-an-hour gale force winds. Like that kind of favors the Belichick style. Like this, it's cold, but there's no weather to it. So like the Bills should be fine.
You can still do your regular stuff. It's just cold for everyone. Like when it was that windy as it was when they played in Buffalo last time, it was like, okay, that eliminates like all passing. Like
the opening kickoff went like 20 rows into the
awesome. That was awesome. If you see some of the videos of the kickers warming up, like guys are kicking like 40-yard field goals, and it just like hits a wall, like in the Nickelodeon game, which we'll get into, where they have to do the overlay where it's like Patrick from SpongeBob. Like that's how it really was. Like balls were they would like hang up and just go backwards. Like it was insane. Yeah. So he's like, cool. We didn't have to worry about it. They passed it 3 times, and they just ran it and won. But this is a little bit different. And again, not like the Bills aren't used to playing in the cold, and there's no like insane act of God like hurricane that was going on last time. So that was impressive, and definitely kind of gets me hyped up to see the rematch. They're playing the Chiefs next week, right? Rematch of last year's, I think it was the AFC Championship game, right?
Yes, it was.
So, and the Chiefs also peaking at the right time. So,
and that leads to a question I have. I put it up on Twitter, and I didn't really get your response from it. This is actually kind of a genuine question I want to know. So, if there's any people from Buffalo watching this, and I know we're huge in Buffalo,
not as big as this guy, but
no, nothing's that huge. So, I gotta imagine there's gonna be a nice contingent of Bills fans going to Kansas City this week. Like,
Oh yeah, Bills
aw-
Mafia travels.
yeah, awesome fan base, one of the best fan bases in the NFL, really. So when you buy your tables, do you buy them in the city you're traveling to, or do you buy locally and then like bring it on the plane with you?
There's no way, dude. You can't. That's gonna cost you like $90 to take that thing on Spirit, dude. It's not worth it. Just go to Walmart when you get off from the airport. Take an Uber straight to Walmart. Buy all the tables, and then we'll see a table shortage in Kansas City next week. I'm sure.
I don't know why. Like, I just have this feeling that the Buffalo fans are like, look, we want to keep this money local. Like, we'll pay the extra money to ship it out there if we have to.
Well, there's
So
some other questions about different contraband as well, and how are they going to get that to the game? As you know, it is kind of a running thing. It's been going for several years. The Bildo phenomenon, which seems like also I've seen it like 3 or 4 times, and it's always in this corner of the end zone. So I don't know if it's the same
always,
guy or
yeah.
what, but that picture is hilarious. I saw he scored a touchdown. I mean, at this point, it's already out of hand. That was like I think that gave the Patriots 14.
He was mean mugging the crowd when they were down like 30.
And then you see something fly by. I thought it was like a soda. And then this gets on TV, and it's just perfectly caught. Like, what is that, man? This is a football game. Come on. There's no place for that. There's a giant dildo thrown into the end zone. Dildos, dude. It's a real thing. So I don't know. Yeah.
So Buffalo fans, I want to know, as well with the tables, do you buy the dildos locally, or are you going to wait to get to Kansas City and buy them so you can throw them onto the field?
Yeah, they might have to like do some kind of like the gun waiting period just for dildos next week. This week in Kansas City, like you got to prove residency before we can sell you this thing, sir. Okay, if you have a New York driver's license, forget it. Like we just can't do it right now. Yeah, I would, but supply chain, dude. We only got so many of these things. We got to take care of the people of Kansas City. Okay, it's not about you guys.
That's right. Look, we're waiting on these shipments to come in. All right, they're lined up off the coast of California on ships, just waiting to get offloaded.
And it's a thing at the Bills game. I don't know how lucky you'd be trying to sneak one of those into Arrowhead, Kiha or whatever it is.
Yeah, yes.
It's probably gonna be cold, so that's why I'm assuming these get into the Bills games. A lot of layers, puffy jackets, and things, different pockets to sneak things in. I mean, maybe I don't want to know how these people get this into the game, but somehow they do get in, and it has been a thing for several years. There's a lot of funny pictures of referees having to kick them off the field and other things like that. So shout out to the Bills. Nice win and a tasty rematch. As you can see, the one guaranteed dildo to be at the game is Jackson Mahomes, because this guy is an annoying turd.
He is the worst, man.
Pat must have just told him, dude, like, do not say anything. Okay, we're trying to do this playoff run. I don't need to hear from you. Like, let's just deactivate the TikTok right now.
Like, I don't know, man. I try not to be like, one of those like, man, like act your age, act like an adult, but like you're 25. Why are you TikTok dancing for a living, bro?
Look, honestly, it still blows my mind, especially TikTok. Like Instagram, like we do ads for people like influencers, like on Instagram, YouTube, people with like these large channels or they're streaming or whatever.
Sure.
And people make real money off that, and people make real money off TikTok too. I saw his
net worth is like
sure. 1.5 million or something. But if you're Pat, dude, you're like, bro, I'm on the hook for $500 million. Do not mess this up, okay? Like, your grandkids are going to be good with this money, but I don't need you like dancing on the Sean Taylor like memorial and all this dumb crap, throwing cups of water at people and stuff. So just chill out, okay?
Bro, I will give you $100 million if you just calm the
right
fuck
now.
down.
Yeah, let me see you delete the account.
Yeah.
I'll write the check. Okay. So getting on to the next game. And this was a beatdown.
Oh yeah.
A couple beatdowns this weekend. And maybe
a lot of beatdowns this weekend.
As a Raider fan, I'm happy we got in, which would not have happened, without the 2 wild cards they have now, the super wild card. Super. The Eagles just were not good all season.
No.
They could not do anything against Tampa Bay. Fournette didn't even play, even though he was activated. So he's coming back rested, another week rested. Their defense just looked like they just flipped the switch. It was like last year's Tampa defense. Like the Eagles cannot do anything. And yes, the Eagles are very one-dimensional. All they can really do is run the ball. Like anything they do reliably, all has to come through running. But they just got dominated. I mean, in fact, I'm just going to give that one a Well, no, because what's his name? Miles Sanders he finished with like 20 yards rushing. I did a little same game parlay on this. He had to get like 50. Hurts had to score a rushing touchdown, which he didn't. Gronk did get a touchdown, which I was super locked in on that though. I think that was like plus 250 or 300 or something because Gronk hasn't been scoring as much. Not like the glory days in New England, but I was like, dude, it's
the playoffs, bro.
Playoffs, Brady,
He's
Gronk,
showing up.
He's gonna get one. He's gonna get
Yep.
one, which he did. Bruce Arians like slapped the shit out of one of his own guys and got fined $50,000 for it. That was kind of weird, but he's an intense guy. We all know. Don't let that Kangol hat fool you. He is not as chill as the Kangol hat would indicate. Okay, but yeah, it feels like it's happening again. Like AB's gone. I don't even know if that's a bad thing. Like now they don't got to deal with that anymore.
And did you see that all of AB's former teams were in the playoffs this year?
Well, he builds a winning culture, okay? Then he just nukes it. He napalms the bridge on the way out of town. Maybe I would certainly reconsider that. Maybe that was unprofessional. Yeah. So a week later, after he's hanging out with Madonna and Kanye West at some weird LA party. But, yeah. I hope you're safe out there, AB, okay? Just get your mind right. I think you got enough money, hopefully saved, so you don't have to be out there taking these hits and having these mental episodes anymore.
Pay your chef, too. You
pay your chef. We probably don't have any of these problems because apparently a lot of that was like fallout of like, well, I don't think you guys really stuck up for me. Stuck up for you, dude. You had a fake vax card. Like, we're all having to deal with this vaccine and this card and this mask thing. Like, it sucks for all of us. So I don't know why we have to stick up for you. Like, that was just a pain in the ass. Now we got to talk about this for 3 weeks so you could come back. Now we got to talk about you leaving the field. But the further away they get from that, it just seems like they're just going to, like, here comes the Brady juggernaut, Like, he's only out there for one thing. That's more rings.
More rings.
And also, yes, Jeff did send us that thing today that he is older than every head coach remaining in the playoffs. Tom Brady.
In the NFC.
Oh, okay. By 2 years also. Like,
yeah,
not that close.
That's absolutely insane. Yeah, nothing else to say about that game. The Philly, just like we talked about it last week, like Philly, all their wins were against sub 500 teams. Like they had no chance.
Happy to be there. Just you get something to build on there. I figure out what you're going to do with Hurts if he's your guy or
Philly
not.
Philly was one of the worst teams in the league last year. They made the playoffs this year. Give them credit for that. But
Sirianni kind of rallied from looking like a total doofus, and it's like starting on day one with the press conference with the system.
I think they've got 3 first-round picks this year too. So
I mean they're going in the right direction. Again, just kind of have to figure out, is Hurts the guy, or what are we going to do there? But he seems okay. I mean, you're just going to have to kind of cater to him.
You may also not benefit from a shitty-ass schedule next year. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see.
On to the other NFC East related game. Oh, Justin. Sorry, bro.
What a game.
What a game. Yeah. An interesting game for sure. The way it started, I thought 49ers were just going to, like, kick the crap out of those fools. Like, they came out. They were not messing around. They drove the ball right down the field. Their defense looked great. The first half, I mean, it was pretty dominant. Cowboys offense just could not do anything. And then the entire second half, it looked like they were actively trying to give the game back. But the Cowboys were actively refusing that by getting a penalty like every other play. So it just got ugly. And it's a long-time rivalry, storied rivalry between these two teams, two of the more popular teams, like fan base-wise in the league. But, yeah, tale of two halves. And then I don't know if it's just like they're not used to being in the playoffs, the Cowboys, but what a time to have like your most undisciplined game of the season. I think they had like 14 or 15 penalties.
It was 14 penalties. And the thing was, like, normally when you see a penalty and they show the replay, you're like, did the ref need to call that? Like, every time it was like, oh, no, that was like, you made the right decision throwing that flag.
Obvious. I mean, there's always a couple calls in every game. You're like, it could have gone either way. They didn't have to call that. But there was a lot of just like, dude, what are you guys doing? Like, they are trying to give it to you. And you're just like tripping over your own feet right now. Like, Jimmy gave you one like on a terrible throw, like reminiscent of the Super Bowl throw. Just like, guy's wide open, just sails it over him by like 5 yards over his head.
He almost gave him a second one the very next drive when he did that the throw out to Kittle in the flats, and he's lucky he bounced it.
Jimmy's gonna give you something, like at least one. He gave you one. He almost gave you two.
There was a stat I saw on Reddit today. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was something crazy like he's 12-0 when he doesn't throw a touchdown.
That's awesome.
And he's 10-7 when he does throw a touchdown. So it's like San Francisco would benefit from not having him throw the ball. It's what those numbers tell me.
Yeah. I mean, really, like his job basically is to not blow it. Like the things they're doing on offense right now, it's like, putting Debo everywhere. Like he's running out of the backfield. He's lined up out wide. Like he's in the slot. Kittle, they move him all around. Juszczyk is also kind of like a Swiss Army knife type guy, like a fullback, but he can catch passes. So, they just got all these guys like weaving around. I mean, it's a little too late in the season, to start like experimenting, but would have liked to see like just some more, mix it up with like Lance just a couple times a game to like give him some design runs. Cause then you really got like all kind of misdirection things you could do. But,
Sure.
well, yeah, that's probably more. We'll see more of that in the regular season next year, no matter what happens. But 49ers seem like kind of a dangerous team. Their defense is playing well. And like I said, they just play like, I wouldn't say it's a gimmick offense. It's a non-traditional offense. And it's kind of hard to stop because you don't know where it's going to be coming at you from. Kittle didn't even really have to do anything in this game. And that's like one of their best players maybe their best player. So that's a dangerous team. They seem to play well against the Packers also. If you remember was it 2019, the NFC Championship game? They just beat the crap out of them.
I think the last 3 playoff games, like even in Green Bay, San Francisco has won them all. So yeah, they just, for whatever reason, they have the number there. But yes, Nick, I would love to see Ken Niumatalolo be the offensive coordinator and just run that triple option.
Bring him in. And then also, just to finish off this game, sorry, and I'll let you wrap that up. But of course, at the end of the game, Dak taking off, running down the middle of the field. You got no timeouts left. He breaks a big run. I probably should have been thinking about going down. But even if he would have went down, I don't know if they could have got up there in time to set the ball and snap it.
Yeah.
And then you see the referee, having to run like 40 yards down the field, some 65-year-old lawyer. Like, okay, that's going to take a few seconds right there. So we got to kind of account for this. Like, again, unfortunately, it's just always a thing with McCarthy. The clock, how does it work? We don't know. Someday we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was gonna go to, was just like that last play, like just it all around just a terrible play call. I think what is it that they say is like if you're gonna run a draw with no timeouts, you need like I think they say 18 seconds on the clock is kind of like the like minimum time to like okay we can still get everything set, have the ref set the ball so we can get another play going and still leave time. Like, and it's not like they were on like their own 40, like that they were on the other team's 40. Like you can run 2 40-yard pass attempts in that time. Like I don't know what the actual thought process on that was.
If there's an option there too that's discussed beforehand where it's like, we're cool. Like if the middle of the field opens up, we're cool with you taking that. But then you have to then, okay, but if you do that, here's what
you got to get down like
for. Yeah, you don't have to try to take this all the way because we need time. You're not going to just rip off like a 60-yard touchdown run up the middle of the field right now. Like they're probably playing pretty soft back there, but you are going to go down. Like I doubt you're just going to outrun everyone back there. So you have to already be thinking about like first of all, probably not going to have time to clock it if we do that. So we're just going to have another play. But you got to know like, okay, if I take off, like when I snap this ball, realistically, when do I need to start thinking about just going down? So we can get back over the ball and run another play or clock it if you have enough time.
And I mean, it was just so like, of course, I mean, like I'm not just singling out Cowboys fans. This just happens to be them. I think any fan base would have a lot of fans making the excuses, but I know people trying to blame the ref for, running there and bumping into players. Like he was trying to help the Cowboys. Like he was trying to get there as fast as he could. The Cowboys offensive line actually blocked him off and probably cost another second.
Yeah. It's like 6 guys that are 6'6", 320. Like this, like I said, this is like a 65-year-old lawyer trying to. Hey, excuse me, guys. I'm just trying to get the ball. Time's out. Like you just can't leave it in a situation, especially with like some of the other bad refereeing. Like I don't even think that was necessarily bad refereeing, but
no, I thought the official did. I thought the official did all he could in that situation.
You just can't leave it to a situation where the referee may affect like a mess up by the referee might just end the game. Like there's always a possibility of that happening. So you have to eliminate that as much as you can. Like we just need to get another play, whatever happens here.
But yeah, I mean, ultimately, it was an entertaining game because of how bad both teams played in the second half. And obviously ending with the just the crazy debacle was hilarious. Seeing all the reaction of the Cowboys, which I don't know if you saw. I don't know if this was legit or not. But I mean, of course, all the memes, the pictures of the sad Cowboys fans they were showing in the final 5 minutes. Did you see? Supposedly, there was the one shot of like the dude with the chain, and his hyena with him. Supposedly, that girl was his side piece, and like the dude's actual girlfriend like saw it. Supposedly, that was something going around the internet. Obviously, take
what a gambler!
Yeah,
your team loses their first playoff game in like forever. And you get busted on TV.
Yeah. Supposedly his girlfriend made like a post on Facebook or Instagram or something about it. Like, yeah. But yeah. So another year, another first round exit for them boys.
They got young pieces, Dak is locked up now, so you don't have to deal with that drama anymore. Dak kind of, it's I don't know, he just kind of tapered off this year. Like he came out like a house on fire. Zeke, I know Justin was throwing out that there's some rumors he might have like maybe partially torn his PCL or something in the Carolina game. So he was dealing with an injury. It definitely seemed like he had a big drop off in his production. And they were trying to, work Pollard in there more too. But you still got Parsons, a lot of good pieces to build on. And you play in the NFC East. So there's always that.
6 wins a year, buddy. Yeah.
I think you're good to get back in the playoffs. And like I was telling Justin, a lot of guys that have not been in the playoffs before because the Cowboys have not been in the playoffs since they've been in the league.
They do still need to shore up that offensive line. Like I think people still have the perception the offensive line is what it was 5 years ago, and it's not. They need to shore that up. They need to fix their discipline. Obviously, most penalized team this year, and I don't think it was even that close. So.
Hey, shout out to you guys helping us out. That's usually ours.
But we go on to the Sunday night game. This game wasn't even as close as that score indicates.
Kansas City Ben said they didn't have a chance. He tried to tell you. He tried to
tell you. That's right. But no real surprise. Kansas City just beats the dog shit out of Pittsburgh. Big Ben's last game, thankfully, because it is painful to watch him play now.
Man.
But Kansas City got it going. This is kind of what everybody's afraid of. Although, I mean, look, it's also Pittsburgh.
And they already beat the crap out of them once. The first time they played, they won by like 23 or something, more maybe. So, I mean, maybe it was some kind of trying to fire up the boys. But
Ferda?
Yeah, Ferda. But Ben was spot on. This guy's been around a lot of football, seen a lot of football, great career. He was like, I'm telling you, we don't have a chance. You do not have to watch.
Good.
Maybe there's some, reruns of House Hunters or something. Maybe just watch that because this is already a wrap. And it was. They got the crap kicked out.
So I will go ahead on behalf of my Chargers and issue an apology to the nation because the Chargers blew the tie against the Raiders. We had to watch Pittsburgh go, a terrible Pittsburgh team go in there against Kansas City.
Yeah, that's a terrifying prospect for everyone to see. I mean, yes, it was the Steelers, but just as far as like, whatever confidence builds up, the Chiefs fancying themselves like this offensive juggernaut, which they do have all the players, and Andy Reid, mad scientist, always coming up with crazy new plays. Like even in the playoff games, he's probably trying like 2 or 3 new plays every game. But like I said, kind of nice on the other side to see the Bills finally have like one of their like, hey, they put it together like a full game. They just kicked ass against a good team, a good defense anyway. Well, we thought they were. They just got crushed. But a tasty rematch of two teams that like it just felt like all year never really hit, they were probably like pegged to be the rematch of the AFC Championship game, and never quite. It was like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, week to week. Then they would go, win like 3 games in a row, and then like have some bad loss for no reason. So good to see them both coming in hot, and I think that'll be a good game. I'm excited to watch that one.
Nick, I think Ronnie kind of addressed it earlier. Like maybe the Steelers will be down for a year, but they always seem to find a way to rebuild.
That's the problem with the Steelers, and that's the reason why it's stupid to think that Tomlin would leave that job unless he gets fired. Which I don't think. I mean, they're not really in the coach firing business in Pittsburgh.
But they've had 3 ever, I think, something like that.
I think that the Raiders have had like 15 coaches in that time.
The Raiders had 2 this year. Pittsburgh has had 3 ever.
We're looking for a third. We're trying to make it a third.
That's
See if we can hire him before the Super Bowl. That makes it 3 a season. But we'll see what happens. I am looking forward to that game probably more than. Well, I'm intrigued by the 49ers-Packers game as well, just because of the history there. But I think this is going to be the year where Rodgers is like, this is my MVP. This might be my last shot. This might be my last year. I want to stay in Green Bay. Although I still, hopefully they work that out a little bit behind the scenes. He seems like a little bit less salty now towards that whole deal. But it's definitely the best place for him to stay. Like, you're always going to get in the playoffs playing in that division with that team.
He wants to win a Super Bowl trophy so he can rub it in Hub Arkish's face.
Maybe, yes, exactly. Take it down to take it to Chicago and just put it up
which he
in
owns.
City Halls.
Which he owns.
Hey, shout out to Myers Lamb. What up?
Yeah, there we go. What's up? And
then
and then in the first ever Monday playoff game, Rams beat the absolute dog shit out of Arizona. I expected so much more out of this game, and Arizona was just terrible. Which apparently, I didn't even realize it, and I should have. Shame on me. But I did see a post of like Cliff Kingsbury's like career as a head coach, and like the second half of the season, he's always just dog shit.
Yeah, not having Hopkins obviously kind of changed everything for them as far as they were just cruising. I think they had the best record in the league. Or if not, very close to that time when that happened.
They were 9-1, I think, when that happened.
J.J. Watt, yes, it's shell of what he once was, but still like a leader type guy on your team. It seemed like he brought some experience in there, and they seemed to play a little bit better when he was in there. I didn't hear what all happened. I saw him get knocked out of the game. Budda Baker, I hope he's okay, because he just got clocked like straight in the side of the head, where he had to be stretchered off. But I haven't heard anything, which I'm guessing is like good news, that was more serious. I know they took him, to the hospital to be evaluated, but I'm hoping he's fine. The Rams, 34 points. It's still, I don't know. For the all-in Rams, like I still haven't seen the all-in game yet. I feel like, but
don't forget 6 of those were from one of the worst pick sixes I've ever seen.
Yeah. So we'll see, but they got Weddle now, dude. So it's like Super Bowl confirmed.
That's true.
Pretty much.
True. Yeah.
And he has to play now too. Just immediately right back into like, okay, playoff games. Haven't played in 2 years. Great, get out there, make some plays. We did get it one more Manning cast though, thankfully, because of the stupid Monday game. And this has been a thing. Okay, so if you've watched the Manning cast, I've enjoyed it. They get good guests on there. Even when they don't have guests, it's entertaining to watch those two guys that have seen so much football just describe what they're seeing. Peyton just gets mad sometimes when it's like bad football. Like it physically pains him to watch it, which is always hilarious. He just gets mad at the coaches. He gets mad at the quarterbacks, like whatever, like that's terrible, blah, 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 whatever. But so from the first week, at some point during the season, they built out like for both of them in their house, basement, wherever they're doing this from, like these full command centers where they have kind of like what they did with baseball when the broadcasters couldn't travel with the teams the year before last. So they're still doing it from their home stadium, but then like the league is giving you extra camera angles. You're getting like the all 22 cam, all these sky cams, sideline cams, so you can see what's going on with the coaches and stuff beyond what's just on the like TV broadcast that we see. So they have put some money into this, but for whatever reason, they have horrible audio problems. I don't know why they're still trying to do this on Zoom. It seems like they could just, ESPN has unlimited money. Like, just get them a direct line where there is no delay. Radio stations have it, and we had, like, no money when I worked there. So, you're ESPN. You could figure it out. But that did lead to one hilarious moment of audio errors that they fixed later. I'll throw it up to Peyton and Eli.
Before you do that, Larry, let's go to Peyton. He's going to break down that touchdown.
I can't hear shit.
Never mind. Peyton's doing something else, Larry.
Well,
So you're back to you.
we
You
can break.
think Kyler's ready for this moment? First playoff game.
I gotta love Larry Fitz too. Like one of the just like all-time class act guys in the NFL, and he's trying to like, hey, we can break down this other play. Like he knew what happened. He was like, oh crap.
Hey, he should use that as tape to go into broadcasting. Like, hey, look, guys, I can work on the fly.
I think he'd be great.
Yeah, I really think he would. Yeah,
that was funny. But yeah, they've had problems with like they get these big name guests. I mean, like huge name guests because not only are they like Hall of Fame players, but you know they're just famous for being the Mannings too. Like they're famous. They're like the kind of guys you see in commercials where they do not have to wear a football uniform and you know who they are. So that's when you know you've crossed over. Especially in football, when everyone's wearing like so much stuff, like you usually see in the ads, like we got to put this guy in shoulder pads. Well, he's at Arby's. Well, but people aren't going to know who he is, like So they've totally transcended that. Like they're just famous. So they get all these good guests. They have some fun interviews. It's a little more loose, ESPN's been pretty cool with letting some of the language fly. I'm sure just pay the fines, whatever. They're trying to avoid that, but if it happens, they seem to be okay with it.
Cost of doing business.
Cost of doing business, cost of making interesting TV. But they have so much delays. Like this is way better than their setup. Like, it's not like constantly talking over. Like they seem to have every single, like they get a good interview going, and then like Eli doesn't know when it's his turn to talk, or the guest starts talking and they're already saying something else. Like, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Like, we'll do that sometimes, but like it's every single show for them. They got to tighten that up, okay? Because I like the Manning cast, but that is holding it back right now for sure.
I've noticed that a lot, obviously throughout the season, but like for some reason it really stuck out to me when they had The Rock on this last week because he was on like a 2.5 second delay. So like they'd ask a question and he's just sitting there staring at the camera. Oh, okay, but then like when he starts giving an answer, Eli starts talking because he wants to kill the dead air. So yeah, that was yeah, you're right. They gotta fix that. Like there's.
Shout out to Stan, his T-Rex skull, though. Of course, The Rock would have a T-Rex skull in his house.
That was, seriously, that was incredible.
Amazing.
But,
which I did.
Yeah, come on.
I know he's like one of the most famous movie stars, if not the highest grossing movie star, I believe, in the world.
He is the highest, yes.
And he's got to be close to worth like $1 billion at this point. So, of course, The Rock would have a T-Rex in his Zoom setup.
I only know of 2 people in the world that have a T-Rex skull, either in their office or at their house. It's him and Vince McMahon.
Yeah, exactly. And that guy Hammond from Jurassic Park, he might have one.
It's true.
Spare no expense. Spare no expense. But no, I look forward to the Manning cast. They are going to, continue to do that. I hope. I've enjoyed it. And if yes, can we wait for the A-Rod Michael K cast?
Well, if MLB would get their shit together, we can get that to us quicker.
The problem with that is it's just
maybe that's in the negotiations. The Players Association doesn't want that to happen.
No, we can't do this, dude. This is your idea. This is gonna make us all look like assholes, dude. Nobody wants to listen to A-Rod talk exclusively and not have to like sit and like because it's like honestly the only drawback of the Manning cast is if you're just trying to watch the game. Like if it was a Raider game, I'd probably be flipping back and forth. It's kind of hard to follow if they're doing an interview. Even the analysis stuff, which I like and really enjoy hearing that, it's hard to like stay in to what is going on in the game sometimes. So if you got like a close game or something, you kind of want to just watch the regular one. But baseball's a long game, dude. And A-Rod is a polarizing guy, shall we say. So I hope you're ready to steer that ship, Michael K., because we're going to count on you to do some heavy lifting.
Michael
shut
Jordan,
up. Okay.
Tiger Woods, Aaron Judge. Wow.
Oh my gosh, dude! I don't know how that's going to work out. I mean, I'll watch it. It could have that morbid car crash fascination.
It could be a beautiful disaster.
But yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time to hear A-Rod talk, especially when it's like, no, we want you to talk more, A-Rod. Because he's on Sunday Night Baseball. It's like, please talk less. Like, I know you're a great player. You do have some insight now and then, but maybe just a little nervous. But things come out of his mouth in a weird way sometimes. So that's the guy that's just going to be like, we're going to do the long form sit down with this guy. Like, we couldn't get Booger McFarland. Like,
Ooh.
jeez. Like, hey, shout out to Booger, though. He's definitely better at college. I don't mind him as much on the college football stuff. He was great when they were doing all the bowl games. He's always good on Feinbaum, our homie.
Paul.
You need help, Paul. I got family. But yeah, so stay tuned for that whenever baseball decides to that it wants to be a sport again. Yes, the Ozzie Guillen cast. That's gonna have to be on YouTube, dude. They can't even. That's ESPN3 only, mature audiences.
That's
parental discretion is advised, but that would be great.
You actually might need a Sirius XM subscription for that.
Like current players that he knows, or probably even manage some of them still. I feel like guys would just be like, nothing happens. They step in the box and be like, "Oh, this guy's a real piece of shit." Let me tell you, Ozzie. Jeez, he hasn't even done anything. We weren't even talking about this guy. No, I'm just saying he's a piece of shit. All right, Ozzie's gonna shoot you straight. There's no filter on Ozzie.
That's true.
I mean, Charles Barkley, he's famously candid and off the cuff, and that's what makes him interesting on TV. But even he's got more of a filter than Ozzie Guillen. Ozzie Guillen will let it fly.
Yeah, he's got that TV button. He knows when a microphone's in front of him. Like, there's certain words you can't say. I don't think Ozzie has that.
No, he does not. That's why I don't know if he would sign up for it. But if they did that,
I mean,
man, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome if he did it just to spite A-Rod. Like, if it sucks for the first month, he's like, all right, I'm just gonna do it how it should be. Check out the Ozzie cast on YouTube, and it's just like, F A-Rod, F this guy sucks.
This guy is a staff record label and is a crew.
This guy's a Venezuelan piece of shit. Oh, man. Shout out to Cabrera. I didn't say that. That was Ozzie. And the last thing in this last game before we wrap up here. Notoriously well-known, fun guy. Kawhi Leonard was taking in the Rams game in L.A. with a lot of the Clippers team, L.A.'s favorite team, clearly.
Mookie was with him too, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, shout out to Mookie too. On the perfect game, 300, crazy. Right. I knew he was a good bowler. Maybe he's probably had perfect games before, but maybe just
no. He's had more than one. I know that.
Yeah, that one just happened to be captured on camera. But must be nice to just be good at everything. So that's I'm happy. Seriously. And annoyingly, he's also like a nice guy. Like if he was just a jerk, you'd be like, all right, well, look, it made him all callous, But no, he's like a nice guy, and he's great at baseball, and he's probably gonna, play 20 years on the PBA tour when he retires from baseball, because you could do that till you're like 90. But just look at the raging party the Clippers were having at their luxury box, and just see how much Kawhi was enjoying it. The caption: he always looks like he just doesn't want to be anywhere he is. What? Oh man, you guys are still like, what? No, I don't give a shit about this, dude. Are we really? Come on, like, I'm a fun guy. Good old awkward Kawhi. Never change, bro. Never change. But if you want to change and get off the Clippers, I'd be cool with that. So maybe something to think about. They're getting that new arena though. New arena coming soon.
He's that dude. He's that dude that's at every party, but it's just sitting at a table by himself.
I know. Why did you even come? You're not enjoying this, and you're making me enjoy it less. You're weirding everyone out. Before we get out of here, I do want to quickly bring in on the Roll-A-Rama Celebrity Hotline the CEO of the program, Mr. Nick Barrios. Nick, how are you doing this?
I'm good, guys. How are you today?
Doing great.
I just wanted to say one thing before I log off.
Go ahead,
I wanted to confirm I am not gay.
Oh, there you have it. Nick is not gay again. Mike Piazza also still not gay, unless I don't know he's held any press conferences recently, but that was the last we heard when he gathered the assembled media to say he's not gay. So that is the latest there. Again, Nick,
breaking news.
Not gay again. Mike Piazza still not gay. So there you have it. We are up to date, and I think that brings us right up to date with baseball in general, where it's at right now.
True.
So thank you guys for joining. Loving the new setup again. Thank you to associate producer Mark and Steph Azzali. I'll work on a mic stand. Well, work on some tweaks. But this first time out worked pretty good. And my camera didn't die right in the middle of the show, so it was awesome.
Yeah, I know that's a shock. Didn't have to change just before 9 o'clock. I actually didn't even notice that.
It's smooth. It's almost just as good a camera as my phone, and I have my
Beautiful.
phone now, so
Beautiful.
I can be reached during the show. But yeah, please don't call. But hopefully, now we're getting down to like some of the cream. The cream rises to the top.
Yeah.
And we have much less of these games this week, please. I don't know why that guy that does the slap, he totally reminds me of the Jesus in the Big Lebowski. He just seems like that guy. Like, lick the back of the hand and just give it a wet slap, bends this guy over backwards, some like tweaker crackhead guy at the pizza parlor, and then just smooth, like Trey Turner,
all in
like,
one motion. Yeah.
slides right out, like right out the front door.
All in one motion.
I'm assuming we're gonna get less beatdowns this week, but yeah, I mean that's the give and the take of the super wild card. Like, do you want your team to get in or not? So I'm just happy my team got in. We didn't get slapped. I guess the refs kind of slapped everyone.
The refs kind of slap you a little bit. Yeah.
It was like that scene, in the backyard with the slap. Bam, bam, just slapping every parent, every kid that comes up to him. Bam, bam. That was the refs all game. And shout out to the NFL saying that they made the right call and then banning that crew from doing any more playoff games. Okay, makes total sense.
Yes, because nothing says they were right, like telling them they're not going to ref another game this postseason.
They nailed it. Yeah, perfect. They did exactly what we wanted them to, but also we don't want them to be on TV or do any more games. So good luck. Maybe you guys can check out the Pro Bowl or something. Maybe they'll send you over there. Trip to Hawaii.
But yes, this so Friday we will have a preview of the 4 games this upcoming weekend of the NFL. We've got a heavyweight title fight in the UFC.
Hell yeah.
Definitely be previewing that. Looking forward to that. Hopefully we can get the fight phlebotomist on here to give his thoughts on that as well. And we'll be talking whatever else the hell is going on in sports. Hockey's going on. I'm sure there will be absolutely nothing new with baseball. Basketball's going on. We got the Olympics, man, in a couple weeks.
The Olympics, man.
The Olympics will be back in a couple weeks, so definitely look forward to that. But we'll be talking everything on Friday. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Comments, questions, all that good stuff. We love you. You guys know the drill. Keep the fire.
Keep the fire.
That's a